So here we will talk about how to divide a whole number by a decimal. We're going to look at the example 41 divided by 3.3. We have a big problem here because notice there is a decimal in our divisor, and we never want a decimal to be in our divisor because we can't divide that way. So what we have to do is create an equivalent fraction that is also doesn't have any decimals. Okay, so in order to create an equivalent fraction, what we do to the numerator must be done to the denominator. So let's look at our example again. 41 divided by 3.3. So we can divide each of these numbers or multiply each of these numbers by 2 to create an equivalent fraction, and we will get 82 over 6.6. We can also multiply both numbers by, let's say, 3, and we will get we multiply each of the numbers by 3, we get 123 divided by 9.9. But there is still a problem here. The problem is I did not get rid of the decimal, which is what we were trying to do. So we have to make sure that we are not just finding equivalent fractions, but we're finding fractions that are creating a fraction that is equivalent and also gets rid of the decimal. So what we have to do here is multiply by 10. Multiply by 10. When we multiply by 10, it gets rid of the decimal. 3.3 times 10 is equal to 33. And the reason that is because moving the decimal one space to the right is the same as multiplying by 10. Moving the decimal one space to the right is the same as multiplying by 10. And since we multiplied our denominator by 10, we have to multiply our numerator by 10. 41 times 10 is 410. So we've just created an equivalent fraction. 41 divided by 3.3 is equivalent to 410 divided by 33. And 410 divided by 33 is much easier to divide, right? So now let's look at another example. Let's try 9 divided by 2.6. 9 divided by 2.6. Again, we want to get rid of this decimal in the divisor. Okay, so we have to multiply our number by 10. Multiply the entire fraction by 10. When we do that, 9 becomes 90, 2.6 becomes 26. And again, this is a lot easier to divide than 2.6 by 9, right? So in these examples, we move the decimal place one space to the right or multiply by 10. But in some cases, you'll have to move the decimal place more than one space. So let's look at something like this. I don't know, 38.1. Or I'm sorry, 3.18. Let's try that. 3.18. Okay, so if we want to divide 3.18 to 765, we have to get rid of this decimal in the divisor. How do we do that? We create an equivalent fraction, what we've been doing before. 765 divided by 318. Remember, multiplying a number by 10 only moves the decimal place one space to the right. So if I were to multiply these digits by 10, I will get 7,650 divided by 31.8. But I still have a decimal here. So I need to multiply by 100 instead of 10. I need to multiply by 100 instead of 10 because moving the decimal place 2 spaces to the right is the same as multiplying by 100. When I multiply by 100, I get 76,500 divided by 318. And that is easier to divide than 765 divided by 3.18. So the key trick here, whenever you are dividing a whole number by a decimal, the key thing you want to do is move the decimal until it becomes a whole number, or multiply by a multiple of 10 until it becomes a whole number.